Connecting.
What?
Connect. Start.
Yay! Welcome everybody, this is Rev G, and I'm here with Rev Mary, who's our lead tonight, and Rev to the Max, and we have a very special Valentine's Day service planned for you tonight. We're here, Darshana-palooza. We got a couple of folks here, and we are really excited. So without any further ado, we're 2 minutes behind. We will begin.
She said that we can come to the restroom if you want to be closer.
Welcome, everybody. You know, God is love, and what I would like to do to start our call to worship is to have Reverend Max go around with the microphone, and for you to tell us, or to call in, an aspect of love. So perhaps what you're calling in is kindness, or maybe you're calling in the name of God, because God is love.
I need that, otherwise I don't have it. That's why I cut it.
Oh. You keep it.
Okay, very good.
I'll start. Compassion.
Generosity.
Forgiveness.
Acceptance. Commitment.
Happiness.
Patience.
Did anybody say compassion?
Mercy.
Kindness.
Understanding.
Peace. And unconditional. So all of these things that we called in are aspects of our Creator, and our Creator loves us more than anything in the world. So let us dedicate this service to loving God back.
Our call to worship reminds us why we are here tonight. To celebrate, explore, and develop an interfaith experience and join together in sacred celebration of spirit. We welcome you to the Darshan Center for Spiritual Evolution, where our vision is attuned to a higher awareness of oneness. This house of worship is an interfaith and interfaith sacred space for all people to heal, grow, learn, and develop a spiritual consciousness that celebrates the manifestation of the divine in all things.
This spiritual community is one of inner faith exploration and embraces all faiths that are affirming and positive, adhering to the highest spiritual goal of be good and do good. The major tenet of this spiritual community is that there is one infinite, all-powerful, all-knowing, ever-present, divine source that moves in and around all that is seen and unseen.
And we affirm that this divine source is called by many names and is beyond name and form. And we recognize that while there are many paths that lead to enlightenment, each person is on their own personal journey toward the awareness and the understanding of the divine.
And we believe that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and that we are spiritually evolving in this very lifetime. We declare that enlightenment is possible in the here and now, and that this enlightenment can offer us joy everlasting. We know that by living in the present moment and recognizing the true I am, which is our divine nature, is where enlightenment lies.
We hope you experience darshan, which is a Sanskrit term for a visit with the divine. As a result of this sacred celebration we have designed for you tonight. We are the guardians of the Darshan Center, and we are so pleased to have you in Satsanga with us. Please join us now as we celebrate with song.
Take a deep breath in with me. Let's place our hands on our heart space as we open ourselves and surrender ourselves to the divine. We thank you, God, Creator, Great Spirit, you who are as expansive as the cosmos and yet as personal as our heartbeat. Thank you for continuing to show us your strength, your mercy, your divine love, your unconditional care. And with that, and knowing that, there is no fear here. Together we say amen.
Amen.
Oh, Ashe, blessed be. So it is. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Our reading tonight comes from Vivekananda, Lessons in Classical Yoga. Bhakti Yoga teaches us how to love without any ulterior motives. Loving God and loving goodness because it is good to do so, not for going to heaven or to get wealth or anything else. It teaches that love itself is the highest recompense of love, that God himself is love. The highest idea that the human mind can conceive of him is that he is the God of love. Wherever there is love, it is he, the Lord, present there. Where the husband kisses the wife, he is there in the kiss. Where the mother kisses the child, he is there in the kiss. Where the friends clasp hands, he, the Lord, is present as the God of love. When a great man loves and wishes to help mankind, God is there, giving freely his bounty out of his love to mankind. Wherever the heart expands, God is there manifested. This is what Bhakti Yoga teaches.
Give me love, give me love, give me peace on earth, give me life, give me light, keep me free from birth, give me hope, help me cope with this heavy load, trying to touch and reach you with heart and soul. Take hold of my hand, that I might understand. Won't you please, oh, won't you give me love, give me love, give me peace on earth, give me life, give me light, keep me free from birth, give me hope, help me cope with this heavy load, trying to touch and reach you with heart and soul. My
When we were planning this, we didn't know whether Sister Chris was going to be here with us tonight or not. And she had her hip surgery, and it went really well. And we are so pleased because she is our little goddess of love. So one of the things that I asked her to do was to write up for me my favorite meditation that she does. And so I know I'm not Sister Chris. I'm going to try to be nice and calm and peaceful. But if you would, close your eyes and get comfortable in your chair. Align your body and focus on your breath. Begin breathing a few deep breaths. Breathe in deeply, hold it for a moment, and then breathe out, all the way out. Breathe in again and hold it and release all the way. Imagine you are breathing in serenity and peace on the in-breath and breathing out all tension and stress on the out-breath. Breathe in peace. Exhale all tension. Scan your body for any tension. And when you feel tension, breathe into that tension and then relax. Give yourself permission to fully be here in this moment, suspending all cares and concerns for this moment. Appreciate yourself for getting yourself here, giving yourself this space to nourish and replenish. Now focus on the area of your heart space. Feel your heart open, soften, and expand with your sublimest feelings. Feelings of love and compassion and joy. Breathe into your heart space and enjoy this deeply relaxed state and your beautiful open heart. There is a radiant sphere of light there, glowing and pulsing within you, illuminating your heart space. See, sense, and imagine this brilliant white gold light. It is filling and lighting your chest and heart area. This is the light of divine love. This is the light of infinite compassion. Breathe into this exquisite light. Your heart is radiant with love and compassion and bliss. You are filled with radiant love and divine healing light. Now breathe into this divine energy of love source energy. And when you breathe out, send this divine light out through your heart to the heart of the person next to you, and then the person next to them, around this circle, until you feel the light coming back to you. Now imagine and sense the light connecting you to the heart of all of the people you know and all of the people you love. And see this exquisite web of love and light blanketing us, blanketing our town, our state, our country, and our world. Allow this love to extend to those who you know but do not agree with, and to the people who you perceive as your enemy. See circles of brilliant strands of light flowing around the earth, awakening unity and oneness, awakening peace, awakening love and joy in all of mankind. See us all connected now in divine light. Breathe into this vision and hold it. The earth and the universe beyond are filled with love now. In a moment, I will sound the tone of the bell, and you will open your eyes gently, holding the awareness and the division of divine love. This love is always available to you, and you can access it anytime in this beautiful heart space of yours. Okay, so I want to talk to you tonight about love, integral yoga style. Now, where would I come up with a crazy thing like that? Well, I grew up in the 60s, and some of you I know were not even thought of in the 60s, but some of you who were around in the 60s, you will remember that TV was saturated with shows about love. I remember watching Love American Style, and I'm really surprised my mother let me watch that, because there were some pretty, racy things for back in the 60s. There were stories about people who had drug addictions, and there were people who were alcoholics, and there were people who were having affairs, and there was all kinds of stuff, so I'm really surprised she let me watch it. But it was one of those shows that I could not wait to see. The other show that I absolutely was crazy about was Love Boat. You guys remember that? Yes. Love Boat. Shining and new. There's come aboard, love is waiting you, or something like that. The plane. Yeah, right? I used to love that, and I kept thinking about, oh my goodness, one of these days, I am gonna find that true love. And if you grew up in the 60s, you also know that it was the era of Disney. And every Disney love story at the time had this princess, or this woman who was going to be a princess, who was in some dire straits, and Prince Charming, or whatever his name was in that video or that movie, came and rescued her. And I kept thinking, oh my God, I cannot wait to get rescued. I want the heck up out of here, and I cannot wait until my mystery lover comes, sweeps me off my feet, maybe I'd sweep him off his feet, you never know, take me on the Love Boat, have some miracle, and then have the Disney ending, which was happily ever after. Now, we know happily ever after, not, right? Because in our human interactions, nothing lasts forever. Nothing. Whether it's that you fall out of love with somebody, whether one person grows faster than the other, but it doesn't last forever. Even couples who are married, from the time they're young until the day they die, one of them leaves. And that love, we think, ends, but it doesn't really. When I was young, I also, loved animals. Animals were really easy for me to love because they're really gentle and kind, and they really don't want anything from you other than your love. Well, they want to be fed. At my house, they want to be fed. And boy, do I hear it if I don't feed them on schedule. But they just are pure, and they give you love, and they don't care if you had a bad day, and they don't care if you did something horrible that day, and they don't care if you're grumpy. They're there, and they love you unconditionally. I didn't know any people in my life who loved unconditionally at that point, but I sure knew animals did. And so I was just crazy about animals. And to this day, I have way too many in my house. I have 4 cats and a dog, and Gavin has a desert tortoise on our back porch at this moment. In 5th grade, I met this woman, and her name was Sister Teresa. She was my 5th grade nun, because I went to Catholic school. And she was different from all the other nuns that I had ever met. She didn't yell. She didn't scream. She didn't tell you were holding your pencil wrong. She didn't tell you didn't genuflect right. She didn't tell you you were doing something wrong. And she never once in all of 5th grade told me I was going to hell, which was a really big thing, because up until then, if you didn't do things right, that's what the nuns threatened you with. You were going to go to hell, but not Sister Teresa. And I remember asking her, why she was so different. And I remember her saying to me, well, Mary, I'm married to God. And that is when my journey started, because I was like, oh, I want to be married to God too. They got to have some good perks with that. This must be a wonderful thing, married to God, right? Like what better mystery man could you get, right? And of course, at that time, in my little 5th grade mind, back in the 60s, he looked just like Jesus. Because there was a lot of Jesus-looking guys running around back then with their long hair. It was the age of free love. So I expected that eventually, someday, Jesus was going to come. He was going to pick me up. We were going to go on the love boat, and we were not going to have love American style. Now, Jesus gave us 2 commandments, and those 2 commandments overrode all of the other commandments. And the first one was to love your God with all your mind, your heart, and your soul. And that seems pretty easy to me most of the time. There are some times when I get a little rambunctious and I balk a little bit, but Rev Grace told us last week about surrender. And that's one of the things you have to do when you love somebody, and it's one of the things you do when you marry somebody, is you surrender. You surrender that they are not going to be perfect all the time. And you surrender to not always liking what they're going to do, but you surrender. And so the other commandment that Jesus gave us was to love your neighbor as yourself. So both his things were about love. It was pretty wonderful. I went through many paths. I went through the Christian phase. I went through born-again Christianhood. I went through Wicca. I went through metaphysical. I went through a lot of different things, and finally came to interfaith. On my way to interfaith, and one of the biggest influencers in my life is Swami Jyotirmayananda Ji, who is my guru, who is the guru of Max and Rev Grace and Durga Devi, and we just love him. And he talks about one of the things that's really, if you had a tagline or an elevator speech, Swami Ji's tagline would be integral yoga, a little of this and a little of that. So I started to think about, the 4 types of yoga, and recognizing that there's different people that we have to love, right? We have to love God, we have to love ourselves, and we have to love other people. Now, there's that saying, you can't love anybody else if you don't love yourself. And that's actually very, very true. The part we have to love about ourselves is not necessarily those actions or those things that we do that the nun said I was going to go to hell for. It's not those things. It's the big S, self, as Sister Chris says. It's that part that resides in our heart. It's that part that allows us to love even when it's not so easy. So I started thinking, as a therapist, I have couples come into me all the time, and they have problems. They have problems with love. They say, oh, she doesn't do what I want. Oh, he doesn't do this. And I often give them a little test. It's called the 5 love languages. And the 5 love languages are words of affirmation, physical touch, gifts, quality time and acts of service. And when I was thinking about this, I went, oh my goodness, that's integral yoga. So the first aspect of integral yoga is bhakti, and that is what Max read to us from Swami Vivekananda, was about bhakti. Bhakti is our love of God. It is that love that is, it's almost all-consuming at times. If you can focus on that, the world just seems really, really bright. It's that love of Sita and Ram. You know, Sita was the intellect and Ram was God. And so in the Ramayana, Ram's banished, and Sita doesn't have to go with him. He actually says to her, listen, you're not made for this lifestyle out in the wilderness and the woods. You know, you're not a camping type girl. You better stay home in the castle. And she says, no, I'm coming with you. I married you. I'm coming with you. And so that's one of the reasons that I wanted that Sita Ram song, because it's such a great love story. And it gets even better because she gets stolen by this evil guy. And Ram goes through everything to get her back because he loves her just as much. It's kind of like the bummer lamb thing that we talked about a couple months ago. You know, God doesn't leave us out there. He comes to find us when we're out there. And so it's that kind of love, it's that encompassing love. And so when we're showing that bhakti to God above, we can do it through prayer and we can do it through kirtan. I love kirtan, I miss kirtan, one's coming up real soon. But kirtan takes away a lot of the stuff that we might say to somebody that we love, but that might not always be nice. Kirtan's always nice because it's calling out the name of God. It's calling your beloved. When I thought about, you know, loving ourselves and what would be bhakti for ourselves, I thought, you know what's bhakti for ourselves? That inner self is meditation. It's us going within, and it's us asking ourselves what we need, and it's us nurturing our inner child, and it's us starting to say nice things to ourselves, those positive affirmations, those things we don't do so often. And it's also self-care. It's also us taking care of us. I firmly believe that on your birthday, you should buy yourself a present. I firmly believe that on Valentine's Day, you should buy yourself a present because you love yourself too. You should also spend some time with God first. But you should do something for yourself. You should take good care of yourself. And then when I thought about bhakti with other people and I thought about those 5 love languages, I thought about words of affirmation. Those things that we say that are sweet, you know? And sometimes those things come not on a good place, you know? They might come on somebody didn't do what they were supposed to do. And so sometimes those words of affirmation are just, I love you, and it's okay, and you don't have to be perfect, because I love you anyway. I see that love in you that, again, Max read about, that love in the kiss, that love in the touch. The next part of integral yoga is Raja Yoga, and that actually is meditation. It is actually going within. And so, you know, I was always taught that prayer was us talking to God, but meditation was us listening. It was our time to be silent. It was our time to go within and listen to what God had to say to us. And you know, we did a great exercise in seminary, and if we weren't doing the ritual we're doing tonight, we would have been doing this. And it was to write a love letter to God, and then to write what God writes back to you. It's a great practice, because God's never going to say anything mean to you. God's always going to tell you that He loves you. We do connect with ourselves, and that's the way through Raja Yoga that we love ourselves, is we connect to that big S self, and we do love ourselves. And we recognize those qualities that we have that are always there within our hearts. And I started to think about with Raja Yoga, you know, what would be, how do we love somebody Raja Yoga style, right? But there's a way. And the first is quality time. Sometimes we don't have to say a word to our loved ones. Sometimes we just have dinner with them and we're looking across the table and there's some candles there, and you almost go into trance looking into their eyes. And you see the divine. Good thing that wasn't the one I needed. Want to take that one? Thanks. Let's just take it up there. I'll shove it up there sometime. Thank you, Maxie. And so spending that quality time with people. There's another way to love others, and you can use this for the people you don't love. And it's kind of like the meditation that Chris gave us. It's called loving kindness meditation. And it's where we wish for ourselves, first, happiness, to be free, to be safe, and to be fed. And then we wish that for the people in our inner circle. And then we wish that for the people outside of our inner circle. And then we wish it for the world, and we keep moving it out, expanding it. And you know, when we say at the end of prayers, Om Shanti, 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 what Swami Jyotirmayananda told me is that is wishing peace first for our inner self, to have peace in trials and turmoil, and then peace for those in our circle, and then peace for the rest and for the unknown. The next part of integral yoga is jnana yoga. Jnana yoga is reading sacred texts. So when we want to get close to God, that's what we do. We find a sacred text, and it could be the Bible, or it could be, you know, the Bhagavad Gita, or it could be, you know, Rumi's love poems. It can be anything that connects you with the divine. And so that's how we connect that way. For ourselves, how do we learn about ourselves? We listen to what we say about ourselves, and we stop saying bad stuff about ourselves, and we start saying good things about ourselves. And we say it to other people. You know, we don't say, oh my God, I'm so clumsy. We say, you know what? Most of the time, I'm very graceful. And then we leave it there. With jnana yoga, how would you have jnana yoga about your loved ones? Well, again, that was one that made me sit for a minute. But we also have quality time where we sit with people we love when we talk. And sometimes we talk about the weather, and sometimes we talk about the hard day we had, and sometimes we talk about our dreams and where we want to go with them, and what we want to see with them, and what we want to experience with them. Sometimes it's just listening to their stories. You know, it's important to be able to talk, but it's more important to listen. With the couples that I work with, if they listened to one another more, I would have so much less business. It would be okay though, because it would mean people were loving each other more. The last part of integral yoga is karma yoga, and that's service. That's service. So how do we do service for God? Well, you know, we talked again months ago about unio mystica, which means everything we do with God. If I'm washing the dishes, I'm talking to God while I'm washing the dishes. I'm washing that dish really, really good in case God was eating off that dish. Because God lives in my loved ones. So when I'm washing that dish for them, I'm washing it for God. And let me tell you, I wash the animals' dishes really good too, because I love them a lot. We have to recognize that we are the heart, the hands, and the voice of God here on earth. That we are the expression of God, and what we do is a love message back to God. When we're doing the right thing, it's a love message to God. It's showing our commitment. For other people, and for ourselves, we do good karma. Again, doing the right thing. Be good, do good. Why? Because if we are doing service for ourselves and we are doing it the right way, we are not building any bad karma. If we're doing things, you know, like those little random acts of kindness, sometimes people do them the right way and sometimes they don't. Sometimes people do a little random act of kindness and then they run around and tell everybody they did their little random act of kindness. Guess what? That's no longer a little random act of kindness. That's a bragging act of kindness. Still might be kind, but it's not the same. You already got your reward when everybody said, oh, look at you, aren't you great? That's not the reward you want. You want that, I did this out of love, and I don't need anything back for it. We don't get attached to the outcome. So it's good karma for us, and it shows love for us. And then we do acts of service for other people. You know, one of my biological son does really not like to clean. And so when I clean up after him, that's an act of love. Because let me tell you, I don't want to do that a lot of times. I love him dearly, but oh my God, sometimes I just don't even want to. I don't want to do laundry. Do it anyway. So those are the integral yoga style. Now, it's usually easy to love God or Goddess because we're grateful and we recognize all that God and Goddess does for us, but sometimes it's hard. When things aren't going our way, we want to withdraw our love, but that's a human way of loving. The human way of loving is conditional. You know, we love somebody to a certain point, but once you cross that point, we don't love you anymore. Well, when we are loving God, we want to love God unconditionally. We want to remember that God loves us. We want to know that God wouldn't do anything to hurt us. And so we respond with gratitude. Sometimes it's not easy to love ourselves, and so we need to do that. We need to refocus ourselves. When we catch ourselves saying something bad to ourselves, we need to refocus and say something nice. There's some people that it's really easy to love, but the ones that are really, really easy to love that are outside of us are usually people that we really like or who are a lot like us. Because see, we can love ourselves, we can love them. It's hard sometimes to love those that are different, you know, and that's part of integral yoga, is reacting and remembering that we are all one. We are all expressions of the divine. And so I want to tell you that when I took my vows, when I took my sannyas vows, I really believe that I married God. I wear a ring, it's my commitment. I wear orange every day, it's my commitment, it's my love. I do other things, but we're not going to go into that. So I really did get love integral yoga style, and I didn't end up with love American style. So thank you so much for listening. And now we'll go to the clergy if they want to share.
Thank you, Reverend Mary. Sister wife. You know, I love that it's Valentine's Day, right? And there's that certain kind of romantic love that we're all used to. And I love that you brought to light this real love. You know, that love boat love, that stuff that was on TV all the time, that's not real love. That's Hollywood. That's production. And so you shedding light on such a day that's surrounded by love, what real love really is. And I always appreciate that. And especially now, you know, we've had a rough year. We've had a rough year of not loving everyone. So it's so important now that we can get back to the basics. You know, like while you were talking, you reminded me about that one story, and I don't remember the person's name, the one that was doing all these mean things to Krishna. And he was just like,
Durvasana.
Thank you, Durvasana, yes. That's exactly what I think of, you know, like all these people that the ego of me doesn't want to love. But we're all representations of God. So by not loving that person, I'm not loving God. By loving that person, I am loving God. And that's a lot easier said than done, but that comes with the practice. So thank you.
Awesome, yeah, wow, great. I love it. Integral yoga style, love integral yoga style. Swami Jyotirmayananda Ji would be very, he would be beaming right now. Great message. I'm so thrilled that we got to share Valentine's Day with our spiritual family, because for me at the end of the day, and I'm blessed, I have the best wife ever. I know you think that you have, well, your sister wives, but and I know that God thinks that the both of you are the best wives ever, but I have the best wife ever, because I have the blessing to live with Sister Chris. And she's constantly my teacher, my love, my beloved. But at the end of the day, and I really experienced, and I have been experiencing, of course, with all of you, like COVID, etc., just like, oh my God, all of these things on the outside that we love that are like not exactly the way we want them to be. But God. God is always there. God has never left us. And I'm just going to close with this. The newsletter, I hope you're all getting the newsletter, and if you're not, let me know so that I can send you the newsletter. I send it out every Friday. And the image that I selected is this little cartoon character, and it reminds me of a cartoon character that I used to draw. But it's this like little stick figure guy, and he's got a heart, and he's putting it up to God, kind of like, here's my heart. here's my heart, Lord. And he's got this heart that he's putting up to God, and he says, it ain't much, but it's all I got. And God answers, it's all I ever wanted. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Okay, everyone, so for our ritual tonight, I'm sure everyone sees these lovely tables we got going on here. And we are going to do a little ritual talking about the integral yoga and about a way of spreading love. As you see here, we have bags, and each one of you is going to get an opportunity to come up, and you're going to place one of each item going down into this bag. Now, this bag is for you to take with you, and we hope that you practice good karma by loving yourself, by loving another person, and if you see someone on the side of the road, that's who you give it to. So, I'm gonna go first, just to show you guys. Rev Grace is gonna play some music for us, and then we're gonna start Beanie, if you don't mind doing first, and then we'll come through this way. That way we don't got so many people bumping into each other.
I also just want to say what a blessing this is, that, you know, when we plan this, we plan for 15. There's 14 of us. So God's got a plan. Thank you very much. So I'm gonna explain what Max is doing. He's just taking one product from each section of the tables. First, he's starting with a bag, so you have something to put it in, and then you go along and you grab each of the products, including there's pens and pads as well. This is all for the homeless. These are the times, we are the ones, we are ready, we are ready. These are the times, we are the ones, we are ready, we are ready. The ocean holds its breath, the sky is on its knees, the earth is trembling. Can we believe love is waking up? Love is waking up. How do we trust this love? How do we make it real? How do we hold the pain and help it to heal? These are the times, we are the ones, we are ready, we are ready. These are the times, we are the ones, we are ready, we are ready. These are the times, we are the ones, we are ready, we are ready. These are the times, we are the ones, we are ready, we are ready. So gather your courage now, put your hand in mine, together we'll walk this road, we'll follow the sign.
we are ready. These are the times, we are the ones, we are ready. We are ready. These are the times, we are the ones, we are ready. We are ready. Love is waking ready. We are ready. Love is waking. We are ready. We are ready. Love is waking up. Love is waking These are the times, we are the ones, we are ready. We are ready. These are the times, we are the ones, we are ready. We are ready. Gather your courage now and put your hand in mine. Together we'll walk this road. We'll follow the signs, 'cause these are the times, we are the ones, we are ready. We are ready. These are the times, we are the ones, we are ready. We are ready. These are the times, we are the ones, we are ready. We are ready. These are the times, we are the ones, we are ready. We are ready. Rev Mary will make a bag for me and Rev Max. These are the times too. I already made ones. These are the times, we are the ones, we are ready. We are ready. These are the times, we are the ones, we are ready. We are ready. It's me. All right.
What's in the bag so that people know what they picked up?
Sure, absolutely. So, you guys, we put in these bags wipes, body wipes. People can wipe themselves down. You also have sanitizer wipes. We got a bunch of little snacks for them, as you saw, and then we had hand sanitizer, paper and pens, water, we had can openers, we had sunscreen. These letters here, I hope everyone got a letter to put in their bag. It's filled with resources where people can go pick up food, where you can go shower, stuff like that. Am I missing anything? Oh, face masks.
Oh, lots of snacks. Did you say that already?
I did.
Oh, well, I always have to, come behind you,
Exactly.
clean up. I'm just kidding.
I already made one. That was the best part of the night. But spiritual community, we love you. You guys are amazing. We are here for you, and we are here because of you. The contributions that you give us each week keep us going, keep us in business when other places are closing down. We have stayed strong through this year, and it is because of you guys. I'm gonna come around with the basket. We always ask, just give what you can. And if you don't have anything on you, please put your hands over the basket, because your love and energy is what fuels this place. And we also know that there's many different ways to contribute. You can PayPal us, you can Venmo us, and you can also go to the website.
Yes, and I placed all of this information, very important information, in the YouTube chat as well. The PayPal.me/Darshan Center and the Cash App symbol, which is the $, Darshan Center 840. Why 840? Because that's where we're located every single week, by the way, right here, Darshanapalooza style, in the parking lot. And I'm just so grateful that we had such an amazing turnout tonight. Really, it really encourages me, and thank you. Thank you for being God's messenger by telling us that yes, we should still continue. Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Speak what is true. I am found, I am yours, I am loved, I'm made pure, I have life, I can breathe, I am healed, I am free.
You are strong, you are sure, you are life, you endure, you are good, always true, you are light, breaking through.
So everybody, please raise your hands up and sing this with us.
Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Speak what is true.
I have announcements?
Yes, you do.
Okay, here's the announcement. Make sure you come in person every single Sunday night at 6:30 and give your heart to the divine and then visit with the divine. How cool is that? This is the best match.com you can possibly experience, is visit with the divine, intimacy with the divine, Unio Mystica. Come on, right? Let's go. That's awesome. It's amazing. And also, we have Rock Kirtan coming, and that's March 13th, also Darshanapalooza style. And listen, that's a great fundraiser for us as well. It's a love donation, $10, but we really are hoping that a lot of people show for that. Okay.
And so let us pray. Mother God, Father God, Great Spirit, we thank you for the love that you've brought into our lives. We thank that you've brought us to you, and that's the greatest love of all. We thank you for teaching us to love ourselves, our big S self and our little s self, that we can love ourselves unconditionally. We thank you for the love that you've taught us to give to others. We strive to be as loving as you are. We strive to be compassionate and kind. We strive to be unconditional in the love that we give. Help us to always see within you, or within the other, you. Let us see you in their eyes. Let us take the time to look. Let us be your hands and your heart here on this earth. Let us take the time to get to know you and others. And let us always do good deeds so that we are shining your light through us. And we say, Amen,
Amen.
Amen,
Amen.
Aho,
Ashe.
Ashe, blessed be,
Blessed be.
and so it is.
So it is.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Awesome. This is a really nice way to close. We may have to close this right off of Facebook, YouTube as soon as it starts going, because we don't want to get blocked. But just got a heads up. And don't forget to give this to a homeless person you see in your, keep it in your car. Okay.
Absolutely. And please sing with me.
Yes, let's everyone sing this. You all know it. Come on, you stand up and we're going to dance this out. All my disco queens in the house. What do we got, disco queens?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here it is. Beautiful. You know this song. You know this song. Come on. All right.
Love you guys.
Love you. Happy Valentine's Day. We love you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Great job, Rev Mary, Rev Max. Bless you each.